Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today was the round 8 of Chess Olympiad. Team India B was paired against Team USA. And you know what? Gukesh is on fire. He defeated USA's top grandmaster Fabiano Caruana also. It's simply great. In this video we are going to check his game. So let's start. Gukesh is playing black. White plays the move e4 and Gukesh employs the Sicilian defense. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. So this is known as Rossolimo. g6, castle, bishop g7 and bishop into c6. Now this Rossolimo opening Caruana used against the world champion Magnus Carlsen in their world championship match. So, okay, Carlsen used to play the move d into c6 here. But Gukesh chose a different setup with the move b into c6. This is also played but not as popular as the move d into c6. White played the move rook e1 and now Gukesh chose the move queen c7. Now this move has been not played much, so there are other moves. But okay, queen c7, it's fine. Now white could have continued with moves like, here he played the move h3 and after the move d6, white could have continued usually with the move like d3 and black has to play the move e5, c3 and knight e7 and this is quite standard. But Caruana wanted to create some imbalances and directly played the move e5 here. So it is necessary to take the pawn on e5, otherwise white will take on d6 and it will open up the e file for his rook. So d into e5 and white played the move d3. Now see, the black structure has been ruined, and if white manages to get back the e5 pawn, then he gets the good position because of our ruined pawn structure. So see, we have double c pawns. That's why after the move, here black has to play a very important move. Simply continuing with the moves like bishop e6 is not going to work because white will pile up on that e5 pawn and win that eventually. So f6, this doesn't look good. Okay, black is a pawn up, but see, black's king is in the center, his pieces are passive, kingside pieces are not developed, so white is better in this position. So you can think and try and find what to play as black here. And yes, black plays the move c4. So he wants to get rid of his weakness or double pawns. Now d into c4 for white is not that great. So white plays the move knight c3. So we take on d3 and c into d3. Now black continues with the move knight h6. Now see, knight f6 cannot be developed as e5 support will be lost. So knight h6 and we do have a nice square on f5 and from here knight can go to d4 also. So knight h6 is perfectly fine. Now white took on e5 because of the tactics on h6. So if bishop into e5, then a bishop into h6. But we know that that pawn was weak and at some point white is going to regain that. Okay, so black played the move knight f5 and here comes the move bishop f4. Materially it is equal position, but white has slight advantage. Now there are some discovered threats to our queen, so we just move our queen on b7. So Gukesh played it and here comes the move knight a4. So it's very likely this is nice idea by Fabiano Caruana. He wants to improve his knight on the c5 square. So black played the move f6. This is quite interesting. Black, see, the knight on e5 is quite annoying, so Gukesh chose to kick that knight, but f6 looks quite weird, but he has something in his mind, and for me that was phenomenal play. White played the move knight f3 and Gukesh castled here, and now see, we are ready to play the move e5 here, and if we get e5 then black will have a great position. So white plays the move d4 and tries to stop the e5 break, and it looks like white is having e file open, c file is semi open file, c5 square for his knight, all pieces are developed, whereas black's dark square bishop is shut down, and like black has no play here. But Gukesh generates it and he plays the move g5. This is very nice, beautiful. So white has to play the move bishop h2, and he continued with the move h5. Like, who plays like this? His king is on the king side and he's attacking with his pawns. That is simply great. White plays the move rook e4 to get control over that g4 square, and now black brings his queen on the d7. Now actually white in the game was just shuffling his pieces here and there. He was not able to get any active plan. In the game, white played the move queen c2. Maybe he wants to bring his rook into the game. So now black plays rook f7. I like this plan also. Guess what is his plan? Black wants to play the move bishop f8 and rook g7. This is how he will improve his rook and is ready for the break g4. White plays the move rook a e1, and he continues with his plan bishop f8, and white plays the move queen e2. Let's see one variation where white goes with the move knight c5, but this will allow queen d5. And after moves like queen c3, after rook g7, black is having some play on the king side. So as I said, white was not able to find any active plan, so he played the move queen e2, and Gukesh played here queen d5. Now this is little bit I would say inaccuracy. Maybe the precise move is rook g7 first, and rook g7 also supports like g5 pawn. Now what was the problem of queen d5? In the game, Caruana played the move knight c3, but okay, after knight c3, queen d7, and in the game he played the move queen c4. Instead of this queen c4, he could have taken on the g5. So here white is getting 3 pawns for a piece. So after f into g5, queen into h5, knight g7, queen into g5, white already has 3 pawns, and this position they would get on the board, and I think with the open king it's little difficult to play. And also Caruana is stronger opponent, so engine shows it's equal, but practically I think black will have tougher times defending the position. Okay, but in the game white chose to play the queen move to c4, and black played the move queen b7. The idea of queen b7 is at some point if this knight moves, we can play queen b5 trying to exchange off the queens, and also now bishop can be he can play the move of e6 also. Actually white keeps a slight edge, but it's okay. Black is completely fine in this position. White plays the move b4. Now b4, the better move was, I think, not b4, something else, like maybe b3. But see, b4 is, it allows black to play the move like a5. Not here. First black plays the move e6, and black is like playing quite solid chess. So white plays the move rook a b1. Black removes his queen from that file, queen d7, rook e1, and here actually players repeated for 2 times, and Caruana deviated with the move a3. So see, like this happens with all the strong players. Like they don't evaluate the position objectively. Like objectively it should be like equal. So they should have taken the draw, I mean Caruana. But Caruana played the move a3, and you know the a3 is a inaccuracy. So this gives black advantage. And black simply plays the move a5, and now his rook on a8, which was not in the game until now, is coming into the game. So after a5, white played knight a4. The idea is of course to play knight b6 and fork the queen and rook. So black plays the move queen d8. Calm, just defending, preventing the knight b6 move. So after b into a5, there comes rook into a5, and now rook is excellently placed. White plays the move knight c5, which turns out to be a mistake. Now a3 pawn is simply falling. Before that, black plays the move queen d5, because with knight c5, white is also attacking the e6 weakness. So now black plays the move queen d5. offers to exchange of the queens. White cannot take because after takes his rook will be under attack and a3 pawn is still falling. So white goes back and simply rook into a3. So now rook gets activated, and as you will see, the f7 rook also gets onto the a file. So now both the rooks are activated. So white plays the move g4. Now this is like desperate try, because black is simply a pawn up, and as you can see, black has pair of bishop advantage and white has got no active plan. So he played g4, which weakens his king and allows black to play a very nice tactics here. After h into g4, h into g4, Gukesh didn't play the best move, but you can pause the video and try to find the best move for black in this position. So yes, so there are a lot of pins and we can use it, and the correct move is rook into f3. Boom. So queen into f3, and here we play the move knight h4. And wherever the white queen moves, the c5 piece is lost because there was pin on the d1 rook. And this is simply winning for black. In the game, Gukesh chose to play knight h6, but this position is so bad for Caruana, it's still losing for him. So white played the move bishop g3, and here comes the move e5. Again, a very nice move. It activates the bishop. White cannot take on e5 as the knight on c5 is hanging. So again, a desperate attempt, knight into e5, and here black simply becomes a piece up. After rook into e5, he has to be just careful enough and not blunder. Bishop into g5, a nice move. Queen d2 and queen f3. Now d1 rook is under attack. Rook into g5 check, rook g7, rook e1, and bishop h3. So threatening mate on g2, and again Caruana plays the move bishop d6. Again a desperate try, bishop into d6, rook into g7, king into g7, queen g5 check, and there are no checks. And here Gukesh finishes with this great move, queen into e4, because after rook into e4 there is checkmate here. All the squares are controlled by black's bishops. So this was a 7th win in a row for Gukesh. He is playing phenomenal chess. And according to me, the turning point of the game was the move a3, where Caruana deviated from the draw. So with this, I think our Team India B will win the match against Team USA. Still one game is going on, but even Ronak Sadhwani is winning in that game. So this was a big win for Team India B. I hope you like my explanation, and thanks for watching.